Well, my dear students, good morning, everyone. After a long time, we are on the same platform, that is the online live classes. Well, my dear students, most of the people got confused and they were in completely great confusion. Why? Because classes may not run for few days. It's because of COVID-19 and all. Obviously, we have to adopt very adaptively based on the circumstances. Well, my dear students, before taking much time, I welcome you all to SGC YouTube channel for live classes. My dear students, let us discuss today in the lecture 1 the first topic in English for second PUC, that is Romeo and Juliet. Romeo and Juliet. Well, my dear students, it is by William Shakespeare. It is by William Shakespeare. Romeo and Juliet was published in the year 1597, whereas William Shakespeare's lifespan 1564 to 1616. Well, my dear students, it is very important when you go to poetry section, or especially when we study the verses, poems, we need to know the introduction of the poet. So here, as you know that William Shakespeare is worldly known poet, playwright. Moreover, he belongs to late 15th century. He gave much importance for writing the plays rather than writing the poems. But here, Romeo and Juliet are from this work, from this romantic tragedy. For your syllabus, we are going to study only 2 extracts. But before that, who is William Shakespeare? William Shakespeare, obviously, he is known as the England's national poet. And moreover, he is the Bard of Avon. Whom do we call the Bard of Avon? William Shakespeare. Bard in the sense poet. So, Avon, Bard of Avon. He is the composer of various verses, poems on heroic deeds. Well, my dear students, he has not only given much importance for writing the plays, but also he could able to write the sonnets. Well, so how many plays he has written? 37 plays he has written, and 154 sonnets were written by William Shakespeare. My dear students, out of 37 plays, Romeo and Juliet is being prescribed for our syllabus, that is for second PUC English. And this is, of course, a romantic tragedy. It is a romantic tragedy. Well, my dear students, before going to study Romeo and Juliet, let us go to the outline summary of Romeo and Juliet. in the today's session. Well, now in Romeo and Juliet, we find many characters like Prince Aeschylus. The story or the play starts with the Prince Aeschylus. His servants are fighting each other. His servants, in the sense here, the Montagues family and Capulets family. Montagues family and Capulets family. Montagues family. Who belongs to which family here? Well, my dear students, Romeo belongs to Montagues family, or Montague, that's it. Capulets. Juliet belongs to Capulets family. You should remember first this information, because who belongs to which family? Well, my dear students, after the servants fighting in the Romeo and Juliet, right at the beginning of the play, obviously those servants were from Montagues and Capulets family. So when the fighting was going on between the servants of these two families, Prince Aeschylus warned them that if you continue your fighting, you will be banished from the entire Verona city itself. And moreover, you will be given a death sentence. Then they stopped it. Fine, here, Capulets, old Lord Capulets, what he wants to do. Old Lord Capulets, even Capulets, old Lord Capulet in the sense, the head of the Capulets family. Remember this. If you get confusion, I'll just write here. Old Lord Capulet organizes a feast. Organizes a feast or supper. Why he organizes a supper? He organizes a supper in order to introduce his daughter, beautiful daughter called Juliet, to marry Paris. Count Paris. My dear students, Count Paris, he is the person with whom Juliet is going to be married. So, old Lord Capulet introduces Count Paris, right, as well as his daughter to the people. Yes, that Juliet is to be married with Paris. So this was the main aim behind organizing a supper. Well, my dear students, as he organized a supper, meanwhile, the Peter, an illiterate servant, and even Mr. Romeo's friends, Benvolio is a friend. friend of Romeo. And Mercutio. Who is this Mercutio? Cousin of Prince. Cousin of Prince Aeschylus. My dear students, here Romeo's friend, okay, Benvolio and Mercutio, including Romeo, all together, they got to know that old Lord Capulet is going to organize, or old Lord Capulet has already organized a supper. Let us go in disguise. So what for they are going? Romeo wanted to see his first lover, who is none other than Rosaline. My dear students, Rosaline, his first lover. His first lover, Rosaline. Whose first lover? Romeo's first lover is Rosaline. So he wanted to meet her. That was the only reason he wanted to attend along with or followed by his all friends, Benvolio and Mercutio. Meanwhile, what happens? After going there, he wanted to see his beautiful, bonny and buxom and winsome suit, who is none other than Rosaline. But he could not see her over there. Instead, he could see whom? He could see Juliet. Romeo sees Juliet, my dear students. Who sees here? Romeo sees Juliet. When Romeo sees Juliet, after looking at her beauty, he was completely attracted and he was mesmerized by his, even he was completely mesmerized by the beauty of Juliet, who was more beautiful than any other women in the entire, world, even in the entire Verona city itself. She was the most beautiful, though she was just 14-year-old, but she appears to be a beautiful woman. She was not only beautiful, she was very much attractive. She was like an angel for Romeo, whom he decided to marry. As he falls in love with Juliet, he just did not want to, he had curiosity to meet her. But what happened? Meanwhile, Tybalt, another character who belonged to, yes, Capulet's family, who belonged to Tybalt, who belonged to Capulet family. He just came to know that Romeo, Benvolio, Mercutio, these people are already they are present in the supper. So as soon as he came to know this, he just wanted to send everyone out of the supper. When he sends everyone, it was very difficult for the Romeo to express his true feelings of love. Meanwhile, he just could not keep quiet, my dear students. What he does, with the help of his one more close friend called Friar Lawrence, Romeo's friend, another friend, close friend, his close friend, Friar Lawrence, his close friend called Friar Lawrence. Whose close friend? Romeo's close friend, Friar Lawrence. With the help of him, he just wanted to meet Juliet at his house itself, and he waited at the house of Capulet's family. Who lingered? Here, Romeo lingered. Romeo stood over there for several minutes in order to meet Juliet and to share his opinions about their true feelings of true love. Well, my dear students, when both of them they wanted to meet each other, obviously with the help of Friar Lawrence, they could share their emotions and feelings or thoughts. Meanwhile, what happened? Of course, they were supposed to exchange their wedding ring. Now, as they have chosen the life partners or the suitors of their life. But what happens? After happening this, Tybalt got to know. Who is Tybalt? Who belongs to Capulet's family, the enemy of Mr. Romeo here. My dear students, Tybalt is the enemy of Romeo. He just got to know, and in an angry mood, there was a fight between Mercutio and Tybalt. Fight. Both will fight each other. There was a fight between Mercutio and Tybalt. What happens when both of them they fought each other? Meanwhile, Romeo intervenes. Romeo convinces them in all the ways to come out of that quarrelsome activity or fight. But Tybalt, as he was completely in angry mood, he just could not control his angriness. So finally, he kills. Who kills? Tybalt kills Mercutio. Who kills Mercutio? Killed by. He was killed by Tybalt. My dear students, who kills whom? Tybalt kills Mercutio. As he kills Mercutio, Romeo got angered. He too was in bewilderment, or he too was in confusion. He too was in dilemma. So what he wants to do at that point of time, he just wanted to take revenge against Mr. Tybalt. So he kills. Who kills? Romeo. He kills Tybalt. My dear students, who kills Tybalt? Romeo kills Tybalt. Romeo kills Tybalt. As he kills Tybalt, Prince Aeschylus got to know this. Prince Aeschylus got to know this, and he just wanted to punish. Obviously, as a king of the entire Verona city, he has to give the justice over many violent activities or illegal activities, or in order to show his justice to the people or the citizens of the country, he just ordered the banishment of Romeo, from the Verona city itself. I mean, banishment means what? So here banishment means he was sent. Who was sent? Romeo was sent out of the Verona city as a punishment. Why? Because he killed Tybalt, who belonged to Capulet's family. Well, my dear students, as he kills, it was known by Juliet. Now Juliet too got in, she too was in confusion. She too got lots of feelings, negative feelings about the Romeo. Negative feelings in the sense, why did he kill Tybalt? And what was wrong with these two people? And if he leaves me now, what would be my future? So it was very difficult for this. Then what happened happening after happening this? Obviously, Romeo got, yes, as he was supposed to move away to Mantua. He goes to Mantua. From where he went, from where he went from Romeo to Mantua. But what happened? Friar Lawrence wanted to help at this point of time. As he leaves, Romeo leaves for Mantua. It's a neighboring city. It's a neighboring city. Romeo, when he was banished from the Verona city by Prince Aeschylus, he leaves for Mantua and he goes there. As he leaves, for the other city, it was very difficult for, yes, Juliet, how to meet and how to get him back. So they made a plot in the sense secret plan, my dear students. So plot in the sense a secret plan. So what was the plan made by Friar Lawrence, who is the close friend of Mr. Romeo? Romeo does a wonderful Romeo, as he is obviously in the punishment, he just leaves the city, and after that his close friend Mr. Friar Lawrence, he gives the idea to Juliet that she must consume a poison. She must consume a poison and acts as if she is dead by lying down nearby the tomb. Juliet does this. So when she lies down nearby the tomb, it was everyone was completely in a bewildered state. They did not have any hopes, right, that these two lovers will meet each other. These two lovers will meet each other. Whereas on the other side, Capulet, old Lord Capulet, he wanted to marry Juliet to whom? To Paris. As they are in completely sad mood now, sad situation that they have lost Mr. Tybalt. But this girl, a woman, she doesn't want to lose her true lover called Mr. Romeo, my dear students. That was the only reason he makes a plan, Friar Lawrence. So was it successful? Both of them, right, togetherly, they made a plan that she must enact, or she must act as if she is dead after taking a poison, a potion. My dear students, it is mentioned over here in the book or in the text. Potion. It's a liquid. It's a poison which is in the form of liquidity or liquid form, right? So Juliet takes the poison, poison, and as she falls nearby the tomb, Friar Lawrence, what he does? Friar Lawrence sends a message. Who sends a message? Friar Lawrence sends a message to Romeo. Sends a message. What was the message? He sends message through one of his colleagues. One of his colleagues. What he warns? Romeo, you should listen to my words now that Juliet has taken a poison. Actually, the information which was given by Lawrence to his cousin was Juliet is just acting. She is not dead, but it was miscommunicated. It was miscommunicated by one of Friar Lawrence's colleagues that Juliet was dead permanently. Juliet was dead permanently. Then Romeo, he was in completely sorrowful mood. He could not control his feelings and emotions, my dear students. Then he leaves his place, Mantua, where he was sent for, and he buys the poison there itself. Buys a poison there itself. He buys a poison. He buys the poison where? From Mantua, and he wanted to, yes, consume it. But before that, he had to do some of the activities or some of the important works which are to be completed before he reaches Juliet's tomb. Her tomb. Juliet's tomb. Well, my dear students, as before going to reach Juliet's tomb, after taking the poison, he buys a poison here. After taking a poison bottle, okay, he does not consume it. Don't get confused. As he takes it from Mantua, he leaves for Verona city. He comes back to Verona city. Who comes back to Verona city? Romeo comes to Verona. Romeo comes to Verona, my dear students. As Romeo comes to Verona, he just wanted to see his beloved, his lover, his fiancée, who was already dead. Now, he goes nearby the Juliet's tomb. She is lying down. He thought that he lost his beloved, he lost his true love, who is none other than Juliet here. After seeing her, he sees at the same time Paris. Who is that? Paris. Count Paris, with whom Juliet was supposed to be. Count Paris, it is written already here. Count Paris, with whom Juliet was to be married. Okay. This Count Paris was mourning. Mourning in the sense, he was completely expressing his sad feelings. He could not control his emotions. Why? Because he thinks that he has lost the life partner, his would-be, to say that. As he was in mourning, he was in completely sad mood. Melancholy, we can say that in another word, melancholy. Melancholy in the sense uncontrollable, sad feelings. One who does not control his feelings and emotions when he or she loses the precious person in their family. Yes, my dear students. So as he was also expressing his Yes, emotions at the tomb of Juliet. It was very, very much difficult for the Count Paris to receive it, but at the same time, Romeo finds everything. He sees him that he was crying for the Juliet's death. As he was crying, he gets angry. Who gets who got angered? Romeo got angered, and he immediately, as soon as he finds Count Paris, he kills him. He kills him, and in the saddest mode. He could not see, he could not see that situation. He could not control his situation. He could not convince to within he himself, as he could not control within he himself, Mr. Romeo takes poison. Romeo takes poison and dies. After the death of Romeo, Juliet also, yes, Juliet wakes up and sees the situation, that what had happened. Why? Where is Romeo? What had happened? She learns to know that Romeo was dead permanently. When Romeo was dead, Juliet wanted to give the same amount of sacrifice, my dear students, in order to be remembered in the entire world as a true lover, that is the death. So, even she too consumes the poison and dies. In this way, both the true lovers dies. Both the true lovers die here. Both the true lovers die. As both the true lovers die, these two families, Montague's family and Capulet's family, both the true lovers, both the true lovers, after they lose their life from these two families, Montague's and Capulet's, both the families, they reunited in the sense, earlier they were looking at each other as enemy or feud, right? But now they got realized, they just wanted to go through their mistakes, that where they had gone wrong. Under the presence of Mr. Friar Lawrence, both the families' heads, Montagues and Capulets, or Lord Capulets and Montagues, they wanted to erect a statue in memory of Romeo and Juliet. So they wanted to erect a statue in memory of Romeo and Juliet. My dear students, in this way, the story ends with tragedy. Why it has become the romantic tragedy? Why William Shakespeare calls Romeo and Juliet as romantic tragedy? Because though the story begins with romance, but at the same time, later on, gradually, it leads towards a great fight. Unconquerable fight between the Tybalt and Mercutio. Yes. And afterwards, the third reason is Romeo's and Juliet's death, my dear students. So both the people here, Romeo and Juliet, as they lose their life, this has also become one of the great reasons that Romeo and Juliet to be called as the tragedy. That's the reason William Shakespeare has written it as romantic tragedy, which was published in the year 1597. Well, my dear students, hope you all have understood the outline summary of Romeo and Juliet. In the next session or in the next class, we will be going to study the two extracts, that is Romeo's extracts on Juliet and Juliet's extract on Romeo will be discussed in detail. There is no question. But before going to this, let us now, before going to study, right, as we have finished it, we need to know what is to be studied. As per the PU board, they have chalked out the entire syllabus for this time. My dear students, the PU board has chalked out the syllabus in all the subjects, syllabi of all the subjects. They segregated into 4 parts. Now I am going to give you that first part. So what it includes? Well, my dear students, now English, obviously it is written here, its code in the annual examination even, which will be appeared or printed on the question paper, English for 02. Right, in the first term for second PUC. (2021) and 2022, my dear students, for this academic year, 2021 and 2022. Course book, in this, in the course book, I mean textbook, you are supposed to study are Romeo and Juliet. Romeo and Juliet. Number 2 is Two Dear. Number 3 is On Children. On Children. This is one part, my dear students. When we go to this, we need to study from the course book, these 3, and from the workbook, what we need to study is, right, bridge course. as they have given even hours also. Yes, hours also. For this is 8 articles, prepositions, prepositions, tense, framing questions, framing questions. These will come under bridge course, and our topics in our syllabus: pronouns. Number 2 is passive voice. Number 3 is reported speech. Number 4, jumbled segments. Jumbled segments. Well, my dear students, next, this is for 4. These are all the working hours to be taken. Well, my dear students, from textbook you need to study, course book you need to study is Romeo and Juliet, which is for 4 hours, right? It can be 2 years, next on children. So these 3, 2 poems and 1 lesson to be studied for first term. Along with this, along with these topics, you need to study workbook. From workbook also we need to have, that is from bridge course, which is given over here for 8 hours for these areas of grammar topics like articles, prepositions, tense, and framing questions. My dear students, these to be studied, and after that we need to concentrate, or we need to study even pronouns, passive voice, reported speech, and jumbled segments. Well, my dear students, these are all the now these are all the topics we need to study for first term. Obviously, you may have exams based on these topics in the month of September. It is already been given over here, right? Unit test will be held on 13th and 15th of September, right? We need to study these topics. This is very important. And besides, you'll be given an assignment so that students should have continuous rapport with the teachers and their studies. That is the only reason that the PU board has set up or prescribed this syllabus for first term. And after that, so based on the months, based on the teaching hours and topics, you will be given the other topics and other grammar aspects also for the next term. Well, my dear students, thank you so much for listening to me so far. I need to expect the same cooperation, the same patience from your side, because your satisfaction is my satisfaction, not my satisfaction is your satisfaction all the time. Well, my dear students, I hope you understood my today's first session of Romeo's life and Juliet's life. I mean, how they started their life romantically, but how they ended their life tragically. It was all about a situation, a circumstance. It was a time, it was a bad time in their life, worst time that they could not, but they had it. That's the reason we can change. We can change anything in this world except the time. Because time, we can't change the time. Time is fleeting on. Time is fleeting on all the time. That's the reason we need to accept whatever it comes. Right? Fine. Anyways, but I hope meanwhile, so all of you will know that this syllabus for this upcoming month, and all will follow it, and keep listening to SGC YouTube channel continuously, and keep subscribing also, and not only subscribing, but at the same time you should study it regularly, all the videos. I mean, afterwards, once it is being streamed, once it is being streamed, once it is being streamed, you should watch it regularly and try to understand the concepts, so that you will be more powerful and there will be no difficulty for you. Thank you so much.